Hi, welcome to Influence, a College of Agriculture and Life Sciences program. I'm your host, Dr. Lacey Roberts. Today, I am here with Dr. Meyer and Abby, an undergraduate student in a department of microbiology and plant pathology, and I know that I'm missing a few others. So, Dr. Meyer, welcome to today's show.
Welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yes, and if you will, can you introduce your entire department again? I'm so sorry.
Yes, it's the Department of Biochemistry, Molecular Biology, Entomology, and Plant Pathology.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. So, Dr. Meyer, what is it that you do within that department here at Mississippi State?
Well, my responsibilities include teaching, of course. I teach classes of biochemistry and forensic science, introduction and advanced forensic science, and I contribute to a number of other classes. My research program focuses mainly on the study of viral and bacterial diseases of animals, particularly cattle. And we have a number of projects related to that are dealing with agricultural disease, like I mentioned. Through the years, because I teach the forensic science classes, and I'm a scientist, I guess, you come up with questions and interesting situations that have prompted us to start a small research program as well on the side, forensic related. And so I do have a small little research program with the forensic, mainly done by the undergraduates that want to join me, and they really don't get any pay. It's maybe for credit hours or just out of their own heart, and for just to learn and get the experience. And so, yes, we have something going, and it's a lot of fun.
Sounds like you have many things going. So this forensic science research program, it's something that students can be, gaining experience in the real world. What would they be doing afterwards if they join that program? What might be some of the paths that they would take from that?
Well, the first thing I would like to clarify is that students that are in this program are, first and foremost, they get a major in biochemistry. And this is just a concentration. So they don't leave with a forensic scientist degree. We believe that it helps them out to come out with a broader degree to the labor force. And so the forensic science concentration gives them a number of classes and training that focuses them on this area, and then they can move on to expand their horizons either through grad school or job experience or directly employment. So that's what they do during their 4-year tenure here. When we advise, we always encourage them to try to get just to get the internships and apply to different possibilities. And so, for example, through the years, students have applied to internships in the crime lab here in the Mississippi Crime Lab down the coast. We also have the FBI headquarters that have sometimes summer internships. And I always encourage them to go home and get in touch with their local police department. Maybe they need some kind of summer help, even if it's not a formal training program for the summer. I always encourage them. And I have a student actually that did that years ago. And the minute she graduated, she went back and they hired her, and she now started a forensic science unit in her police department. Wow. Just because she had taken that initiative during the different summers during the program. So with what they learn here, it's almost like the seed. We provide them with the understanding of the forensic procedures and techniques in science and the way of thinking. And then with that, it's like the platform, the basis for them to build upon that. So some students move directly into the workforce, like I said, they get hired by the FBI in Atlanta, and in South Carolina. We've had students from all over the place, and other students choose to move on to graduate studies, which is highly encouraged by me and any professionals in the field. It's gotten so competitive that it's really the best thing to do, really, to educate yourself while just fresh out of college, move on, do some grad studies, and you're going to be much better positioned for a career in the forensic sciences.
Yeah. It sounds like there are some wonderful opportunities throughout your department for students to gain that experience and then, yes, have some great employment opportunities, whether they do want to go straight into a job or actually look at some graduate school, but they would enter into graduate school with some fantastic experience that would make them very, very competitive in that field. Mm-hmm. That is wonderful. Well, speaking of students, I want to see, Abby, you are currently an undergraduate in the department. Will you tell us what classification you are right now, and what are you currently taking within your coursework?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a graduating senior right now. I'm about a month and a half out from graduating with my biochemistry degree. In my final semester here, I'm taking forensic anthropology. I'm taking a couple of capstone courses, specialized tissues, molecular methods, as well as continuing to do research with Dr. Meyer in the laboratory, specifically related to forensics.
Wonderful. What do you want to do with that once you leave? Because you're getting very close to graduation.
Yeah, so I was just accepted into the Forensic Science Master's Program at UAB. So I'm hoping to get my Master's in Forensic Science and then hopefully get employment, maybe working for the government at state crime laboratories or at a private crime laboratory, hopefully focusing on DNA analysis or fingerprinting.
Wow, that sounds so interesting. So, can you tell us a little bit, because you've been through this program, you're on your way out. How has Mississippi State prepared you for what you are trying to enter into?
So I think Dr. Meyer explained it very well that this major really gives you a really strong foundation to build upon, because biochemistry can be applied in so many different ways. There's so much that you can do with a biochemistry degree. So I've had the opportunity to take classes in a variety of different sort of subsections of biochemistry, including genetics, proteins, all kinds of different subjects. And that's given me a foundation to sort of build upon. I can specialize in forensics, or I can sort of stay more general. And this degree gives you the opportunity to be very general or very specific when it comes to further education, as well as employment opportunities. So I'm very degree like this because it gives me a lot more options as I graduate. Sometimes when you enter a specialized degree that's very narrow, it's harder to find jobs because what you have is so specific. So having a degree like this that is, very strong foundation in science gives you tons of options for the future, and it's incredibly valuable to have.
Yeah, I think that speaks directly to what Dr. Meyer was saying about it's more of a generalized idea, but it does provide a very good foundation for you to enter into a variety of fields, especially after you do some internships and you start to see, oh, well, I like this area, maybe not so much this area. Wonderful. So,
absolutely.
Dr. Meyer, you had mentioned the importance of graduate school, and are there opportunities within Mississippi State in this kind of degree program for students interested in taking their education further within this degree or this type of field at Mississippi State within your department?
So within our department, we don't have a specific graduate program for forensics, but we have had students that have contacted us directly that wanted to do maybe a master's degree in entomology with a forensics or master's or PhD degree in entomology with a specific interest in forensic. And so we recently, Dr. Jerome Goddard, I work with him, and we co-advised a student that Anyway, there's a student. He wasn't here. He wasn't physically here, but we made it work. So he did a PhD degree with us, focusing on forensic work. And he just graduated in December, actually, with his PhD, and he has a professor job in Pensacola. So, but that was great, and so we had some research ideas in mind regarding our work with fire ants, and that's why the entomology aspect comes from the fire ants, and we look at the role that fire ants are possibly playing in the decomposition of flesh. And so it's a super interesting project, and yeah, he just finished. And so there are opportunities, but we don't have a formal forensic science graduate degree, if that makes any sense. But we have other students that have, the cross the cross college anthropology department. So they do a lot of work. Some of the professors do work with forensic studies, trauma up to the bone, things like that. So you could find a professor that's interested in that aspect, in the forensic aspect of their work, and you could end up with doing your master's degree. But you wouldn't, it's not a formal program like I mentioned, like UAB would. It's the name of the program is forensic science. Right. A master's in forensic science.
Right. No, but that sounds great. It sounds like an opportunity for students to be able to work with multiple individuals. And again, talking about some of that broad sense, they can get that broad foundation, but also specify in something that might interest them specifically. So they're not limited to just one thing. But there is an opportunity for students that are interested to still reach out and work within the department and specify, look at some of those specific topics that are within your field and your department. Wonderful.
Yes.
Well.
Yes.
As we wrap up our time, Abby, I just have a question. For students that are entering into this program or entering into the department, what advice would you give them and for them to be successful and as they kind of go through their 4 years within the program?
I would definitely say reach out to your professors. It can be really scary. Biochemistry is a hard degree. It's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work. But if you reach out to your professors, they will work with you. They are just as passionate about science as you are, and they really want you to succeed. They want you to have a passion for science, a passion for whatever career you're looking for. And it doesn't matter what specialty you're looking for, if you're going pre-med, pre-vet, if you're someone like me who's going into forensics, they know people. So if you are a student and you say, I'm interested in forensic science, then they can send you to Dr. Meyer or any of the other professors who have a role in advising with forensic science. Make your network is my best advice. Don't be afraid to contact other students or other professors in the school and in the college because they all want you to succeed and they all have a passion for science just like you. So reach out to those people and don't give up. It's a hard degree, but it is so rewarding once you have it. And it really prepares you for the future ahead of you.
Wonderful. I think that's some great advice. Well, Abby, Dr. Meyer, thank you so much for being our guest today on Influence. We really appreciate having you here and hearing more about your area of expertise and your experiences. So thank you again for being on the show. And we will catch you back again next month with another episode of Influence.